Before 1915, India's push for independence was largely confined to parlor rooms. It was an intellectual debate led by wealthy, highly educated professionals, disconnected from the crushing poverty and daily struggles of the common Indian. That dynamic began to shift in 1893, when a shy lawyer named Mohandas Gandhi was thrown off a train in South Africa. He held a valid first-class ticket, but he was Indian. Sitting alone on the station platform that cold night, he quietly vowed to fight the systems that allowed such discrimination. Over the next 20 years, Gandhi used South Africa as a laboratory for resistance. He moved from the moderate phase of writing petitions to a radical new method, satyagraha. When the government passed the Black Act, requiring Indians to carry fingerprint registration at all times, Gandhi responded with a disciplined, nonviolent refusal to cooperate. When he returned to India in 1915, his mentor Gopal Krishna Gokhale advised him to spend a year observing the country in silence. Gandhi traveled thousands of miles, listening to the grievances of farmers and laborers across different regions. The timid lawyer returned as a strategist. He realized that for the movement to succeed, it had to belong to the working class, and he arrived with the methodology to achieve that: the scalable, nonviolent practice of satyagraha. Between 1917 and 1918, Gandhi deployed this method in 3 localized tests. You can remember them by the acronym CAK: Champaran, Ahmedabad, and Kedah. In Champaran, he targeted the tin kathia system, which forced farmers to grow indigo at a heavy loss. His refusal to leave the district until the system was dismantled became India's first successful act of civil disobedience. In Ahmedabad, he intervened in an industrial dispute over plague bonuses. To keep the workers unified and pressure the mill owners, he executed his first political hunger strike, eventually securing a 35% wage increase. Finally, in Kedah, he organized farmers who had lost their crops to drought. He led a tax resistance, instructing the community to withhold payments until the government granted relief. These 3 targeted victories showed the effectiveness of nonviolent resistance. By addressing the material survival of the working class, Gandhi successfully shifted the freedom struggle from elite debate to a grassroots movement. The British government responded to this growing momentum with the Rowlatt Act, which allowed for imprisonment without trial. This tension boiled over at Jallianwala Bagh, where British troops fired on a peaceful crowd, killing hundreds. This violence prompted Gandhi to launch the non-cooperation movement in 1919. The movement called for a total boycott of British goods, courts, and schools to cripple the colonial economy. Indians began burning foreign-made clothes in favor of homespun khadi. In 1922, the movement came to a violent halt in the village of Chowri Chowra. After police fired on a protest, a mob set the local police station on fire, killing 22 officers. Gandhi immediately suspended the national strike. He made it clear that the purity of nonviolent methods was more important than immediate political gain. If the movement could not remain disciplined, he would not lead it. By 1929, the Congress demanded full independence, launching the civil disobedience movement with a 240-mile march to Dandi. This was a highly disciplined, visible challenge to British authority. Gandhi chose salt as the symbol of this protest. Since salt was a universally taxed necessity, the salt laws affected every Indian, regardless of their wealth or caste. Breaking this law gave the entire country a shared point of resistance against British rule. The scale of the civil disobedience forced the British to negotiate. Gandhi traveled to London for the Second Round Table Conference. While the conference failed to grant independence, it established Gandhi as an equal political negotiator on the world stage. In 1932, the focus shifted to social reform with the Pune Pact. Negotiated with Dr. The agreement rejected separate electorates for Dalits in favor of joint electorates with increased reserved seats, preventing a permanent political division within Hindu society. The movement expanded the struggle's demographics. For the first time, women and marginalized communities were participating in national politics at a massive scale. As World War II began, Britain declared India at war without consulting local leaders. Gandhi launched individual satyagraha, a series of selective, peaceable protests designed to exert moral pressure without violently sabotaging the war effort. When the British Cripps mission failed to offer a path to immediate independence in 1942, Gandhi decided the colonial government had to leave entirely. He prepared the nation for the Quit India movement. He issued a final mandate: do or die. But before the movement could even begin, the British launched Operation 0 Hour, arresting Gandhi and the entire senior leadership in a single night. Removing the leadership failed to stop the uprising. The movement evolved into a self-sustaining, leaderless revolution. Across the country, ordinary citizens and underground networks organized their own resistance. Quit India demonstrated that the colonial government could no longer exert control over the Indian populace. The administration was facing a total collapse of its authority, making British withdrawal a matter of when, not if. By 1947, a bankrupt post-war Britain prepared to transfer power. Lord Mountbatten presented the final plan to end British rule in India. Freedom arrived alongside the tragedy of partition. Despite Gandhi's opposition, the subcontinent was divided into India and Pakistan, sparking a period of intense communal violence. On Independence Day, Gandhi was not in Delhi for the celebrations. He was walking through the riot-torn regions of Noakhali and Kolkata, acting as a one-man boundary force to quell the violence through personal presence and fasting. His final fast in 1948 was held to ensure Pakistan received its rightful share of financial assets under the partition agreement, a move that deeply angered radical extremists. On January 30th, Mahatma Gandhi was assassinated. Gandhi's legacy rests on the perfection of mass, nonviolent resistance, a scalable blueprint for dismantling empires that movements worldwide would use for decades to come.